Oh, this is going to be a damn good show, right? Like conservative twins. It's going to be a damn good show. Jason Rant says, City of Seattle is sued over nude park as city considers investing $500,000 into public masturbation deterrent infrastructure. What is that, you say? Let's find out. Here we go. Literally, it says public masturbation deterrent infrastructure. So wild. All right. So this is Denny Blaine Park. This is one of the more epic park locations in Seattle. You got, it looks right across at Bill Gates' home. Let's get this going here. You've got Bill Gates' home is right here. The location is, it is in one of the nicest neighborhoods in all of Seattle. Denny Blaine, Washington Park. My son Kieran lives in Madison Park, just to the north of here. And this is a known park for I guess it's been kind of adopted by the LGBTQ plus park is where they go and just, let it all hang out, literally. And so what I will do is if I'm going through this waterway, the Motley Cut, and we're going somewhere, maybe Mercer Island or somewhere, when we've got the boat coming in through here, I'll point over there and go, all right, there's one of Seattle's unofficial nude parks. Anybody wants the binoculars, you can look at a bunch of tatted up, hairy people, and they're over there. So this is one of those parks. But you know what? More importantly, let's see if we can, let me zoom in here for 1 second. But this is why I am at this park more often than not. So there is a tiny little park right here, I believe it is. Yeah, it's right here. And that is next door to the Kurt Cobain kind of memorial. That's where Kurt Cobain took his life. And so I'll go by that every now and then and kind of look at the park bench, see all the graffiti that's going on, and remember back to driving over to this location and seeing the police and seeing the crime tape and just, sad day in rock and roll history. But that park where Kurt Cobain and he lived next door and, is, a 30-second walk down to this park here, to Denny Blaine Park. Let's watch a little video.
Denny Blaine Park is in the spotlight.
Yeah, look at Rainier. It's epic.
It should literally be for everybody to enjoy. And right now it's not.
Lee Keller is a spokesperson for the group Denny Blaine Park for All.
The members of this group are frustrated, concerned, and now full-on scared.
Neighbors who are suing the city of Seattle over claims that the behavior at the nudist beach has gotten out of hand.
Multiple sex acts, masturbation, men pulling their parts out, asking women if they want to touch this.
Nudity itself is not illegal in Seattle.
No.
Decent exposure is. The group shared several videos. They're too graphic to show, but King 5 has reviewed them, and they do appear to back up some of those claims.
As a community, come together to help sort of eliminate those sort of things at the beach by just, banding together and asking someone to kind of bounce out. So
Blake Waddell is a
Could you leave?
This is everybody's park to come to. And lately we've seen a lot of harassment and intimidation.
Waddell admits there have been issues, but suggests the criticism has gone too far, that they've been unfairly targeted.
When it comes to public urination, masturbation, sex in public, explicit drug use, or people just acting crazy, we're actually the ones that will try to step in and do something.
At a minimum, the law needs to be enforced.
There we go.
A person for the city attorney's office said they have not yet received the lawsuit, but added that even if they had seen the lawsuit, they would not be able to comment on it because it is ongoing litigation. Live in Seattle, Nelson, King 5 News.
So this has been one of those parks where nudity is legal in the state of Washington. You just can't do any of the weird stuff. But this is where all the weird stuff is going on. And as it's become more and more known, it's like, you go there basically to, either see and be seen or to jerk off, apparently. Seattle neighbors who live near a park favored by LGBT nudists are suing the city over a rash of sex perverts who are allegedly driving to the park in order to publicly masturbate. Ugh. It's gotten so bad that the city of Seattle is requesting requests for proposals with initial consideration to build public masturbation deterrent infrastructure. Let's not go after the creeps doing this. Let's not go after the whack jobs that are literally kneeling on the hoods of their cars and just going to Pound Town on themselves. This is what we got in Seattle. Let's not go after those guys. Let's build public masturbation deterrent infrastructure. And what is that? Again, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't exist, right? It's like the hostile architecture I get for the homeless, where you basically, take some massive boulders, put those out in areas where they used to put their tents down, and now you can no longer do that. Or at the SeaTac airport, all of what used to be like benches that you could sit down on, they've all got this crazy architecture in the middle of the bench so that normal-sized human adults can't lie down. Hostile architecture. So you're going to have to do some hostile architecture to the whacked out sex perverts that are going to this park specifically to just do their thing. Neighborhood group, Denny Blaine Park for All. And Denny Blaine is very expensive. You got a bunch of waterfront looking east. You're looking to Bellevue. And then to the south and east, you've got Mount Rainier. It is epic. But that's if you can get past the view of the guy on the concrete bulkhead, just going for it. I mean, he is not a quitter. He is gonna finish, right? Get past that, you're okay. It's all good. Seattle, right? Denny Blaine Park for All is filing a complaint against the city of Seattle and its Department of Parks and Recreation to abate public nuisance and for breach of fiduciary duty. Man, we should do that with just the whole homelessness thing, right? Hey, you guys are allowing this in the park. What's the deal? Get it out of here. The legal complaint hits the city for its failure and refusal to protect the public interests. Park drew attention statewide after neighbors were angered that the park has become a nudist attraction. But it was politically tricky for the city because it became favored by the Seattle's LGBT community. I threw I got the T in there. This doesn't have the plus anymore. Are we not doing that? I'm seeing this more and more in articles. Just LGBT. There's no Q? We're not doing Q and no plus, meaning others? I'm just reading the news, right? Last May, the city announced a plan to build a playground at the park. All right, you got perverts just going to town and children playing next door on their swing set. Let's do that. This is great. This is geniusness. Build a playground at the park as a way to deter the nudity that upset local neighbors. Oh, this is so Seattle. You got a bunch of whacked out perverts just doing their thing, driving from who knows where, because you're going to see a bunch of tattooed up hairy people, just lying on the beach. Seattle, greatest thing ever. And then, mom and dad are going to bring little Johnny and Susie to the park to swing on the swing set. That's the mentality. Well, we'll push them out with the swing set. No, get the whack jobs, literal whack jobs. Get them out of there. Don't allow them to come back. Throw them in jail. Don't care what the park is associated with. You know what I mean? Playground was donated by a neighbor after the city was accused of targeting the LGBT community by seeking to alter the park from what it had become. Bruce Mayor Harrell backtracked and did not intervene. He didn't take a stand? I am shocked. Mayor Bruce Harrell kowtows to whatever comes along. It's all good. It's all good, guys. Yeah, don't want to make a scene here because you got to straddle a bunch of just nonsense in city of Seattle. Neighbors said there's a new problem. This is wild. Because of all the news coverage, voyeurs from around the area, I think from around the state, because where else are you going to get views? And then you're going to get some views, right? I mean, wild stuff. Voyeurs from around the area and state, primarily men, not a shocker, have come. I mean, when do you ever hear of, there was a woman masturbating openly? Yeah, unless they're on drugs, unless they're mentally ill, that's not really a thing, is it? No, it's just a bunch of guys. They have come by to stare at the nude beach and park goers while masturbating publicly. Not good. Not good. It's now a regional avenue for criminal and uncivil behavior that includes public sex and other types of indecent exposure. We got some drug use. We got some unlawful public nudity. Now, it's only unlawful if they are engaging in some kind of, sex act. If not, you can just walk around. It's all okay. It's all good. Environmental damage to the shoreline and parking that prevents fire trucks and ambulances from reaching neighborhood homes. Well, that is kind of all of Seattle in general. There's no parking. The streets are really narrow. They weren't designed for, 18-foot wide SUVs to go down, even the cyber trucks. So, City of Seattle has been aware of the complaints from neighbors for at least the last year. May of 2024, the Parks Department requested the estimate for the stuff they're going to put in the park, the access improvements and plan for Denny Blaine Park. According to the city document, it asked for plans to build the public masturbation deterrent infrastructure. It's unclear what that means. The total project budget is $500,000. What could that possibly be? How are you going to build stuff that prevents people from doing that? I can't even think about what that would look like. I don't really want to. You know what I mean? You're just like, okay, we're just going to leave that alone. I don't really know. With the hostile architecture and that's the only thing I can really come up with. You understand what that is. All right. They're fencing it off. They're putting a bunch of really big rocks you can't put a tent down on top of. Yeah, that's okay. That makes sense. But this kind of thing, what are you going to do? How are you going to do that? We have scoped the project from the initial Park Community Fund submission, and we will begin broader public engagement effort for the project in late 2025. Currently, there is a stair improvement project at the park, which involves installing a railing and landings on the south stairs. It doesn't really have anything to do with our project, which is the $500,000 of the public masturbation deterrent infrastructure. Oh. That as a big city would go through this and actually consider this to be, a real thing. It's just absolutely mind-blowing to me that this is their solution. This is their solution. Let's create something where they can't jack off. And you're left with like what? What are you going to do? Well, they usually go over there, so let's block that off. The complaint details several incidents caught on video. We got the public, we got public sex and other acts of indecent exposure. It also says a naked man who drives a red truck repeatedly visits the park to masturbate with his car door open. So arrest him, throw him in jail. What about that? Oh no, we need architecture that prohibits. How are you going to do that? What are you going to do? In the past 15 months, a woman who works near the park has witnessed 13 different men doing their thing in the park, with several of these men repeatedly visiting the park to do so. He's coming back because it worked out well for him. The complaint reads before detailing several incidents in March 2025, showing that the public acts of, is increasing in frequency as the weather improves. Well, of course it is. People go to the park here in Seattle when it gets nice out, when it gets warm out. Yeah, here's another really good one. Nudity at the park is often aggressively directed at other park users. You're naked and you're acting aggressively at other. Okay. All right. I get it. It's just some weirdo thing, right? And neighbors, so that it constitutes the crime of indecent exposure. For example, a naked man was seen confronting and attempting to intimidate a middle-aged woman. That's not good. You want to be able to go to the park and not have this kind of nonsense going on, right? Department employee who was collecting garbage after a busy weekend said a man was seen alternatively lying naked on his back and then kneeling naked on the hood of his car, exposing his to passerbyers for at least 6 hours on the hood of his car. And it only gets worse. You know what I mean? Seattle homeowners sue. This is Como. There's some good stuff in this one. So one of the neighbors who lives nearby, as a neighbor, I can tell you it's scary to leave your home and see someone doing that in broad daylight, to see sexual acts happening in broad daylight. Said a woman who lives near the park that sits on Lake Washington and fears possible retribution by following the suit. This is outrageous. All we're asking is the city to enforce the laws. Toss them in jail. They'll get the message real quick. Post a sign. Hey, doing that kind of thing here is illegal. We're not accepting it. We're going to send a police patrol by XYZ. Almost guarantee that's what Bruce Harrell comes up with. But he won't ever say anything about the LGBT community, because then he's drawn a line in the sand. And we've asked, and we just feel that this is the last resort, said a man who has roots in the neighborhood dating back several decades and is party to the suit. It's not something we wanted to do, but it's something we felt we had no choice. I mean, it's got to get pretty bad for Seattle residents. Man, there's just a whole bunch of liberals in this neighborhood. There's a whole bunch of liberals, and even the liberals, even the Democrats are going, this isn't necessarily the best thing ever for our park overlooking Lake Washington, with views of not only the Bellevue skyline, but the, Mount Rainier sky. It's just boom right there. Maybe having whacked out perverts jacking off at all times of the day and night, maybe that isn't the greatest thing for our community. We got to sue. Now the group of homeowners claims the park is now unsafe for everyone. This is after they're going to build a playground, and the members of the LGBTQ community said, nope, you're trying to purposely displace the queer community. And the city just kind of let that one go off into the sunset. Homeowners said that they were asked to provide police and city officials with videos of the activity, so they began recording what they argue are near daily occurrences. Until this article came out, I had no idea it is this bad. This park has always been kind of one of Seattle's unofficial nude beaches. And it's had a reputation for its, lesbians and gays go there. It's like, okay, let them do their thing. And, I went and visited the park probably 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, because I was with my girlfriend and we're looking at the Kurt Cobain thing, and we're doing something over there in that, maybe Madison Park, just a little bit to the north. And we went to this beach, and there were some people laying out, and it was like pretty normal, but certainly didn't see any of this stuff. Just no, not seen that. So this has got to be fairly recent, where people are just, Videos and pictures shown to Como News. Multiple people can be seen performing sex acts in the park in broad daylight as other visitors walk by and try to look away. It's one of those, what's going on over, good Lord, what's happening there? Oh, that's not good. Other clips show lewd behavior in the Denny Blaine parking lot. Not surprising. Video surveillance cameras indicate some park goers have cased private homes while in various stages of undress. What's going on in the window? Meanwhile, no pants on. A bunch of degenerates. That's what you've got here, is a bunch of degenerates ruining it for everybody else. Used to be apparently a normal nude beach. People just kind of did their thing. Now they're literally doing their thing, right? Recent charge documents also suggest a pattern of behavior from men who have visited the park with the express intent of committing a public sex act. March 4th, a Tacoma man was arrested and jailed after Seattle police responded to a call of, doing that at the park. A woman who worked nearby reported she had seen the man and another man both separately performing lewd acts and had captured cell phone video of the incident. That's great to have on your phone. What's that? It's just a guy doing you know what. Report said she told the officer she had seen 6 different men in a week doing the same thing at Denny Blaine Park. So it's a literal epidemic. And what do city officials do? We're thinking about building some stuff that might push people out of the way and give them a different idea of what to do at the park. Think that's going to work? No, absolutely not. It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. You know what they'll do? They'll close the park down for like a year. If it gets really bad, they'll close the park down for like a year, and they'll say that they're rebuilding it. and then they'll open it back up and they'll have a bunch of police presence for a while. And then they will have spent $500,000 on whatever that might be. And then everything just goes back to normal. And you don't have as many creeps initially. They'll come back because this is a known beach where you just don't have to wear clothes. And apparently anything goes. The officer found the man in the park and wrote that he was the same person captured in the cell phone video. In another case, February 24th, a neighbor called to report a man committing a similar act in Denny Blaine Park and that she had seen him doing it publicly 15 times over a few years. He was arrested. How does she know who that guy with red hair 14th time? You know what I mean? Guy with blue baseball cap at it for the 12th time in a month. Is she literally keeping a journal? All right, there's that one guy. I saw him last February. Well, he's really going to town. That same man from South Seattle is separately awaiting trial next month on a hate crime charge. He was at the beach and he assaulted another man who had disrobed there. Throw these people in jail. I am sorry. This is just absolutely absurd. It's the epitome of ridiculousness in Seattle. This is what things have devolved to, is you got a bunch of people coming into a city park. This is a city park. Could you imagine in other major cities? Oh, you just go there and you just do whatever you want. No. I mean, maybe San Francisco? Absolutely. Maybe in Portland? Yeah, probably. But to this level, I haven't read anything about it where the nearby neighbors who are almost guaranteed liberal get to the point where they're like, yeah, we got to sue. Lawsuit specifically names dates and incidences and meetings with elected and appointed city officials and says that the lack of action means that Seattle Parks and Recreation is now enabling and maintaining a public nuisance and is violating state laws. Absolutely, it is. They're just letting it go. And you know why? Because they've let everything else go because this is what Seattle wants. They want whacked out pedophiles, whatever these people are, just perverts, to be able to openly just do their thing, and they're okay with that. Because otherwise, the minute you get the report of that first one, hey, got a guy jacking off at the park. And I know that happens all the time. I do. But to this extent, you know, when I was at University of Washington, I know, terrible school. Just like, ideologically, what are you guys thinking? Great football, though. Great crew. I rode crew my freshman year there. But there was invariably, we had a student newspaper, I forget what it was called. There was invariably a headline story of yet another homeless dude jacking off in the library, right? I was in this corner over here and going to town with a whatever magazine. You've always got those stories, but to this extent, where neighbors need to band together and city officials are literally coming up with some kind of construction process that somehow boxes out the nut jobs that come there to do their thing? I mean, really? This is what we're doing. Apparently so. You know what I say, though? Podcast for days, right? I mean, that's what we've got. I mean, this is material you cannot make up. Now, here's Bruce Harrell's office, a mayor. Don't really care what he says because he's just got to say a bunch of stuff that may or may not be true, but, you know, he walks that fine tightrope between the constituents that voted for him and the ones that didn't. Let's see if we got anything else. This is a good one. She recalled showing a city official the videos and asking for action, but said that the unnamed official was reluctant to watch with children in the room. Well, this is a park. That's exactly the point. Children shouldn't be anywhere near this. And this is happening. There are children at that park. There's children just in the community walking down the street. You can look down and see this park and you're like, oh, what's that guy doing? Oh. And in the parking lot is up because it's a lakefront park and it's all kind of sloped down to the street. It's one of those things where you're like, all right. When asked what he thought about the undefined deterrent infrastructure, The man said he feared the city was trying to wall off an area of the park so the activity wouldn't be visible to the residents. Maybe that's what they're going to do, right? Imagine what would go on behind that wall, the man said. Nah, I think I'd rather not. Nope, I think I'm good. Masturbation would probably be the least of our worries. It kind of sounds like it's the least of our worries right now. That stuff's already going on. You got just dudes going to town on other dudes and a bunch of crazy stuff. But that's what happens when you have a city and its constituents who just want to let things go. It gets to this point, give an inch, they'll take a mile. You don't incarcerate people. You don't arrest people. You don't have a show of force. This is how it goes. Welcome to Seattle for a day or a lifetime. Hey, come visit Seattle. Just maybe don't go visit Denny Blaine Park. Oof. Yeah. Or, yeah, if you're a thrill seeker, do what you want to do. It's a free country, right? All right. That's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. I'll catch up with you in the next one. Bye for now.